Hello.
Hello. Happy Wednesday, everyone.
Hello.
Good to see you.
Mhm.
Let's sing our How Are You song
Yeah.
and get warmed up a little. This is my How Are You song. This is my How Do You Do song. And I'm so glad we are here. This is my I Miss You song. This is my High Five to You song. And I'm so glad we are here. And you know, Turd and Bit will come to visit. And I'm so glad we are here. One more time. This is my How Are You song. This is my How Do You Do song. And I'm so glad we are here. This is my I Miss You song. This is my High Five to You song. And I'm so glad we are here. And you know, Turd and Bit
Billy
will come to visit. And I'm so glad we are here. Yes, I'm so glad we are here. Hello and
Hello.
happy Wednesday to you all. How are you doing? Have you
I'm
been
doing
enjoying
very
this
good.
beautiful day? A little cooler than we've had, but not bad.
Yeah.
We went for a bike ride today, and it was really nice out.
Yes.
We went all the way down to Minnehaha Creek that goes down to Minnehaha Falls, and it was just very lovely. So, yay!
I started it.
Amelia decided it. She decided on a bike ride, and then Ava was also supportive of that idea, and I was as well, and we enjoyed ourselves immensely. It was wonderful. So I hope you all enjoyed your day out as well. So let's see what is outside our window tonight.
Yeah.
The clouds have gone away. It's still a little windy, but the sun is out, at least here in Minneapolis, and we're going to go see what's outside our window. You go see what's outside your window and report back. All right, here we go. Walking over to the front door. Want to see what we see outside. What do you see?
I see porta potties.
Porta potties, vegetables growing. Yes. Kitty. All right. So, what's outside of your window tonight? So far, we have noticed there are vegetables growing in our garden,
Yeah.
and we have some porta potties that are still out because there are still people mingling around on our street.
Trash cans.
There are some trash cans which are being emptied every day, so it's nice and clean here. In the middle of our intersection, someone built this enormous, huge statue of a fist like this.
Mhm.
And it's right in the middle of the intersection, and it looks really cool. I don't know what they used to make it or how they did it, but very cool. And so that's on display right outside of our window. And
Spider spray, swing sandbox, retaining wall, table, and couch.
Nice. So the Redigers are seeing some swings and sandboxes, and I'm sure you guys were out there today enjoying the swings and sandboxes. Did anyone go fly a kite today? Today was good kite flying weather. That's something that I didn't think of, but that would be a good thing. Clara sees people passing by. Yep, on their road. There's usually some people biking or walking around. Oh, Kathy Schumann has a park bench that she's checking out. Here's Gigi. We like Gigi.
And he likes you.
Oh, I see the Redigers went on a bike ride and a walk today. Awesome. Yeah.
Yay.
Good day for that. Not too hot.
Mhm.
So, well, I don't know who was able to watch the YouTube video that I put up Monday, but this week we are talking about the story of the Good Samaritan.
Mhm.
So, let's start our evening together with our Bibles. We are going to find the story of the Good Samaritan in the Bible. Now, it's in the book of John, which is one of the 4 Gospels. So it's in the Old or New Testament, if it's the Gospel.
I think it's in the New
You're
Testament.
correct. Yes, the Gospels are in the New Testament. And it goes in order Matthew, Mark, Luke, John. So John is the 4th Gospel. So we're going to start all the way. And I already flipped it to the right place. All right, so we are in, I said John. We're in the book of Luke. My bad.
Luke.
So Matthew, Mark, Luke. It's the 3rd Gospel. We're going to go to Luke chapter 10, starting with verse 25. Now, I'm going to read it, and I would love for you to read along, and then we'll share. And as I'm reading, share your ideas or share your thoughts, what you liked best, what you found most interesting. Okay, but right now, we're reading a story, okay? Buddy is going to read with us. This is little bitty Buddy. Okay, so I'm going to start. Let's put him down now. So Jesus is talking to a group of people when we start this story, and a lawyer stands up next to Jesus and wants to test Jesus's knowledge of things and kind of wants to trick him up. So the lawyer says, "Teacher, what should I do to inherit eternal life?" And Jesus said to the lawyer, "Well, do what is written in the law. How does it read to you?" And the lawyer said, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and all your strength and all your mind, and treat your neighbor as yourself." And then Jesus said, "You're right. Go and do this." And then the lawyer said, "But who is my neighbor?" Then Jesus got into this cool parable. He said, "A man was going down from Jerusalem to Jericho and fell among robbers, and they stripped him and they beat him and went away, leaving him half dead. And by chance, a priest was going down the road, and when he saw the man, he passed by on the other side of the road. Likewise, a Levite, when he came to the place and saw the hurt man, he passed on the other side of the road. But a Samaritan who was on a journey came to him, saw the man, and he felt compassion. And they came to him, and he bandaged up the man's wounds, and he poured oil and wine on them, and he put the man on his own donkey and brought him to an inn and took care of him there. And on the next day, he took out 2 denarii, 2 coins, and gave it to the innkeeper and said, 'Take care of this man, and whatever more you spend, I will come back and I will repay you.' And then Jesus asked the lawyer, 'Which of these 3 men do you think proved to be a neighbor when the person was hurt?' And the lawyer said, 'Why, the one that showed him mercy and went to help him out.' And Jesus said, 'Go and do the same.'" That is our story about the Good Samaritan. Now, please, if you have any things that you like best or you found most interesting, include those in the comments.
Yes.
I do want to make sure that you all know that during that time, the Samaritans and the Jewish people did not get along well, and the Samaritans were looked down upon by the Jewish people. And so the fact that out of the 3 people that passed by, the Samaritan was the one that stopped is showing that you can never assume something based on what you think of someone from where they're from or the practices that they work on or the choices that they make. You can't judge a person until you know what's in their heart. And that Samaritan was a wonderful neighbor to a man who needed help.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And to continue this line of thought, we have our little Turt and Bit skit that we're going to turn over because they are also kind of pondering the same question that we had about the Samaritan. But before we do that, Clara is sharing that she thought it was interesting that there was one person that cared, and it was a Samaritan. And when no one else cared or tried to help out, he was kind to the man. And that was what Jesus was saying. Very insightful. That's exactly it. Spot on, Clara. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, Amelia, do you need to get in position? All right, well, we're going to turn things over to Turt and Bit. They have to say. Here we go. Hey, Bit. You know the story of the Good Samaritan?
Oh, yeah. That was a great parable that Jesus shared to remind us that people from all walks of life are our neighbors.
Yeah. Oh, I was wondering something, though. I was imagining being from Samaria and walking through the countryside near Jerusalem.
Okay, what about it?
Well, weren't Samaritans looked down upon by their Jewish neighbors? And wouldn't the Samaritan who was walking near Jerusalem be nervous about someone messing with him?
Oh, wow. I had never really thought about that before, Turt.
Yeah, and yet the Samaritan still decided to stop and help the man who was hurt. I mean, there were probably Jewish people that would have seen the Samaritan and the hurt man and maybe even blamed the Samaritan, saying he was the one that hurt the man. He could have gotten into big trouble with the Jewish people, but he still decided that he was going to help the man out. Oh, hi, George.
Oh, hello, Turt. Hello, Bit. I just overheard what you two were talking about. You know, the story of the Good Samaritan. Now, I know that was just a parable or just a story, but something similar to that happened way back then near Jerusalem. My great 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 grandma was with a Samaritan who actually stopped to help someone along the side of the road. Wow, really?
Yes, and my my grandma, she could tell that her owner, the Samaritan, was very nervous. So why did the Samaritan help that person out if he was so afraid? Well, Grandma told me that he stopped to help because even though they were different and they were from different places and they believed different things, he felt that they were still both humans. And the Samaritan couldn't just ignore the needs of another person. He didn't think it was right.
Amazing. He just put his fears behind him to do the right thing?
Yeah. And do you know that Samaritan and that hurt man became good friends because of what he did to help out? And the hurt man was so surprised and so appreciative that the Samaritan helped him that he was forever changed. He realized he couldn't judge people based on where they were from or the different customs that they practiced. We're all neighbors, and we all need to love and support each other, everyone around us.
That is such a wise and beautiful realization.
Speaking of neighbors helping neighbors, anyone want to help me make some ice cream sundaes?
Oh, yeah! Whoa, that sounds great. Let's do it. All right.
Hello. So, that was a cool story to kind of put into perspective that it doesn't matter where you're from or what you how you choose to live your life. It's important to think of all people as our neighbors, and we need to show love and support to all of them. That's what George the donkey was saying. That's what he learned, and he helped Turt and Bit understand that too. Pretty good lesson there.
Yep.
Always like to have those guys. So, well, awesome. How many of you noticed the little picture the little thumbnail that I had put on of two little kittens? Anyone? Does anyone have any idea why I would have put that picture up? Well, it is a cute picture. And I thought I would start a new contest starting this week. So, based on this picture of these two kittens, they are in a kitchen together, having some tea, eating together, wearing their cute little dresses. Now, your job is to create a story based around this picture. I want you to kind of think about what brought these two kittens into this kitchen together to sit down and have a meal together. I started thinking about the story of the Good Samaritan and how one man helped another man out. And so if you have kind of a spin on the Good Samaritan story, or just, two kittens who maybe didn't get along and then all of a sudden they found out something about each other and became friends, or it could be just, I'll leave it up to your imagination. But I want you to write a little story. It doesn't have to be super long. Or you can do a graphic novel if you don't like writing that much. Or you can ask your parents to dictate, which means you speak and your parents can write it down. But create a story based on this little picture and send them to me. And next week I will read them out loud because I think this is such a cute little picture. And the story could go in all sorts of directions. And I want to see what you all come up with for our cute little story here. So, think about, brainstorm. You could co-write a story if you wanted to. So yes. Now, I am thinking it's about time that we get up and move around a little bit. So we're gonna do our Get Up and Move song. We're also gonna sing I've Got Peace Like a River. And does anyone have another song that we want to add into it? How about you send a comment of another song you want to do? One that we've sung in church before so that I can do it real easily. Otherwise, we'll come up with something. But if you have something that you're thinking of, Ava will keep an eye on the comments and let me know because I'm going to scoot back so we can get up and move a little bit. Bring the screen down a little too. Wow. All right. All right. It's time to get up and move. It's time to get up and move. Get out of your chair. Bring your arms up high and reach toward the sky. Then bend down low and touch your toes. Come on, everybody. Come on and move your body. Now move your arms like an ocean wave. Then kick your feet out in front of you. Then wiggle like a worm. Now come on and breathe. Body. Come on and move your body. It's time to get up and move. Get out of your chair. Bring your arms up high into the sky. Then bend down low and touch your toes. Come on, everybody. Come on, move your body. Then wave your arms like an ocean waves. Then kick your feet in front of you. Then wiggle your body. Now come on, everybody. Come on and move your body. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul, in my soul. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. Got love like a fountain. I've got love like a fountain. I've got love like a fountain. I've got love like a fountain in my soul, like my soul. I've got love like a fountain. I've got love like a fountain. I've got love like a fountain in my soul. Joy like an ocean. I've got joy like an ocean. I've got joy like an ocean. I've got joy like an ocean in my soul, in my soul. I've got joy like an ocean. I've got joy like an ocean. I've got joy like an ocean in my soul. Any other song suggestions? How about we do My God Is So Big? My God is so big, so strong, and so mighty. There's nothing my God cannot do for you. My God is so big, so strong, and so mighty. There's nothing my God cannot do for you. He made the mountains, he made the rivers, the stars are his handiwork too. My God is so big, so strong, and so mighty. There's nothing my God cannot do. One more. My God is so big, so strong, and so mighty. There's nothing my God cannot do for you. My God is so big, so strong, and so mighty. There's nothing my God cannot do for you. He made the mountains, he made the rivers, the stars are his handiwork too. My God is so big, so strong, and so mighty. There's nothing my God cannot do for you. What's the other song? Peace Like a River? All right, Amelia requests we sing I've Got Peace Like a River one more time. All right? I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul, in my soul. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. How about joy like a fountain? Joy seems like it sprays up. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain in my soul, in my soul. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain. I've got joy like a fountain in my soul. And love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean in my soul, in my soul. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean. I've got love like an ocean in my soul. Awesome. So fun. Thank you all for singing along and dancing, I hope. I sure like having Ava and Amelia helping out with all that. Oh, I see someone wants this little light of mine. Let's do it. I love it. This can be our sing-song day, all right? All right, this little light of mine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Hide it under a bush. No, I'm gonna let it shine. Hide it under a bush. No, I'm gonna let it shine. Hide it under a bush. No, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Won't let Satan it out. Won't let Satan it out. I'm gonna let it shine. Won't let Satan it out. I'm gonna let it shine. Won't let Satan it out. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Awesome. Thanks for that suggestion. That's always a fun one. And it's always very true. Don't let your light go out. Always let it shine. Thank you for that suggestion. All right, so a few little things before we call our time done. We have our Zoom get-together tomorrow, everyone, and that is going to be at 6 o'clock. And I want you all to bring a show-and-tell item of something that brings you comfort, something that you, usually it means something that you like to snuggle with or sleep with at night, or a nightlight, that brings comfort. But think of something that brings you comfort that you can share tomorrow during our Zoom get-together. See this guy? Police donkey. Ava made him today. We'll have to come up with a story for him because he's cool. Anyway, so that is going to be our Zoom tomorrow at 6 o'clock. Now, new schedule, time change, starting next week. Okay, starting next week, we are doing something We are doing the same programming at different times. Parents, I sent an email about this, and I'll send another email, but just so you know, next Wednesday, our family connection moves from this time, 6:30, up to 11 in the morning. So like lunchtime. Because we thought with summer coming, it would be nice to have evenings free for families to do other things, but we still want to offer a fun program for you all. So we are going to, starting next week, move from this time up to the morning. So when you're getting up and you're getting dressed for the day or you're getting ready for your lunch, put on Family Connection and join us for a fun afternoon get-together at 11 a.m. Then our Zoom call, which we usually do on to move up to 4 o'clock before dinner so that you're not having to think about dinner or eating it or all that stuff. So the email's gone out. I just want you kids to hear it too. We're doing a little chime change for the summer. All right. So, but tomorrow we have Zoom at 6. Last week of doing this before the time change. And don't forget to bring something that brings you comfort. So I am going to finish our time with a word of prayer, and then we're going to sing our goodbye song with you. So here's our word of prayer before we sing our goodbye song. Dear Lord, thank you that we can be here together on this beautiful Wednesday. Thank you that we have created a wonderful community together, even though we are not at church like we have been. Thank you that I can see my church family on special visits, and then I can hear from you all, and we can talk through Zoom. Keep us all safe as we go into the summer. Help us to enjoy every bit of summer that we can, and appreciate the beauty of the world that you gave us. And all God's children said, Amen. All right, so let's do our With You song. I like that my chair can move back and forth so easily. Careful, move that chair out of the way so it doesn't bonk the guitar. There we go. The clouds are in the sky, but they are not as high as I am. Frogs, they hop and hop, and they never stop like me. I think of all the things I've done and all the things to do. It's so good to be alive. It's so good to be alive with you. One more time. The clouds are in the sky, but they are not as high as I am. Amelia, can you sing with us? The frogs, they hop and hop, and they never stop like me. I think of all the things I've done and all the things to do. It's so good to be alive. It's so good to be alive with you. Awesome. All right. I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow on our Zoom call. We miss you all, and we hope you have a wonderful evening, and peace. Bye. Bye.